watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted best of Las Vegas. Give them a call, 702-727-9900. News 25 is also brought to you by Desert View Hospital. You can count on us.
And good evening, and thanks for joining us here on KPVM, the Ace Country Radio Network, and now streaming at kpvm.tv. It's Monday, February 5th, 2024. Good evening, I'm Chris Palermo, and here's what's happening. An avalanche is being reported at Lee Canyon this afternoon, and several people are reported missing in the area. The Metropolitan Police Department announced on the social media platform X that its search and rescue team were en route to Lee Canyon as of 2:45 p.m. The department said it was trying to locate several people reported missing. The Nevada Department of Transportation closed both Kyle Canyon and Lee Canyon roads at U.S. Highway 95 Monday afternoon to all traffic except residents. Metro and Clark County said they will provide more updates on the situation when they become available. Lee Canyon has seen about 11.5 inches of snow in the last 24 hours and 31.5 inches in the last 7 days, according to the Lee Canyon Ski Resort. The resort received 6 inches of snow overnight Monday. There were no ski and snowboarding trails or lifts open at the resort Monday afternoon. Lee Canyon is under a winter storm warning watch through Tuesday. 1 to 3 feet of snow are expected to fall on the Spring Mountains, which contain Lee Canyon, during the warning period, say the National Weather Service. And this just in to the News 25 newsroom. The latest update, all 4 people have been found. Some other news today. A 2-vehicle crash happened on Highway 160 at 372. More on this story from Anthony Roberts.
Jason Ernest of Mount West Lawyers. Don't be bullied by insurance companies. Call me, 775-727-9500.
Earlier this morning, on February 5th, a 2-vehicle accident occurred at approximately 9:20 a.m. at the intersection of Highway 160 and Highway 372. Upon arrival, News 25 found that an old pickup truck had collided with a white Kia. We later caught up with Fire Chief Scott Lewis to find out more on this incident.
Earlier this morning, Pahrump Fire Rescue is dispatched for a report of a 2-vehicle accident. The initial report was unknown extent of injuries. As crews arrived on the location, they found the accidents described with between 2 vehicles, moderate damage to both vehicles. There was no entrapment. Crews did transport one to our local hospital, and the investigation is underway with NHP and NCSO.
And over the weekend, another 2-vehicle crash occurred on Pahrump Valley Boulevard. News 25 has this story.
On Sunday, February 4th, a 2-vehicle accident occurred at approximately 11:20 a.m. at the intersection of Pahrump Valley Boulevard and Bruce Street. According to eyewitnesses on the scene, the driver of the red Jeep was at a complete stop on Pahrump Valley Boulevard facing southbound, awaiting traffic to clear to make a left-hand turn onto Bruce Street. Before the Jeep could make the left-hand turn, it was struck from the rear by a Chevy Tahoe that was traveling southbound on Pahrump Valley Boulevard. The driver of the Tahoe was transported to Desert View Hospital with unknown injuries. Both vehicles sustained major damage. Rain may have been a factor in this collision, but has yet to be verified. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue, as well as Nye County Sheriff's Office, were on scene. Traffic was being diverted around the crash site during the investigation and cleanup.
More news now. A structure fire erupted on Saturday night on Bonnie Street. News 25 caught up with Fire Chief Scott Lewis to give us all the details.
Saturday evening, Fire Rescue is dispatched for a report of a well-involved structure fire in the area of 5000 block of South Bonnie. As crews responded, they were notified of a fully involved structure which could be viewed for miles as crews were approaching the scene. Upon arrival, they found a 2-story single-family dwelling. It was a vacant structure. It was unsecured, and it was well involved with heavy fire on the 2nd floor. Crews commenced a defensive exterior objective, also a special call to our ladder truck, which responded and assisted in extinguishing that fire with no extension to any of the material stored on the property. The structure is found to be unoccupied, and there was no immediate known cause for the fire, as there was no utilities provided to the property. Therefore, the fire is thought to be suspect in nature, and we're continuing the investigation. There were no injuries.
The two teens who were charged last year for allegedly running over and killing a retired California police chief appear in court on February 1st for a second arraignment. Samantha Roberts has this story.
On Thursday, February 1st, the two teens suspected of running over and killing a retired California police chief were indicted a second time. Both teens, Jesus Ayala, age 18, and Jameer Keys, age 16, pled not guilty Thursday morning. They have now been indicted a second time with additional charges for Ayala, who is now facing a second attempted murder charge, as well as battery and attempted robbery from a separate stabbing incident last June. David Westbrook objected to the second indictment, stating that, quote, "It's a clear violation to NRS 173.115. David Rogers stated that a prosecutor can combine charges from a separate case as long as they can show that they were related in some way. According to Roger, quote, "It is difficult to see if there is sufficient connection between an attempted murder, an attempted robbery a month and a half earlier, and this crime spree. There may be." For the 16-year-old Keys, no additional charges have been added at this time. When the grand jury reconvened from an earlier indictment, they re-examined his original charges, which is why he was also arraigned in court on February 1st. Both teens are expected back in court on March 12th. KPVM will continue to follow up on this story.
More stories coming up. You're watching News 25.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Nevada Senator Jackie Rosen recently wrote a letter urging Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer to place a bill on the Senate floor that would help Nevadans with affordable housing and tax cuts. R.J. Camacho has this story.
On February 1st, Nevada Senator Jackie Rosen sent a letter to the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer urging them to place the Tax Relief for American Families and Workers Act on the Senate floor in order for it to be voted on after it had recently been passed by the U.S. House of Representatives on January 31st. The Tax Relief for American Families and Workers Act includes tax cuts for hardworking families, expanding affordable housing options, and making it easier for small businesses to compete on a global scale. In the letter, Jackie Rosen stated that, from Las Vegas to Reno, Nevadans are facing skyrocketing housing prices, and we need to do everything we can to lower these costs. Hardworking families in Nevada desperately need the relief from rising costs that the bipartisan Tax Relief for American Families and Workers Act will provide. In the letter, she added that the legislation expands access to the child tax credit, which is expected to lift nearly 500,000 children out of poverty within the first year. This will benefit approximately 163,000 children in Nevada. The bipartisan legislation also includes enhancements to the low-income housing tax credit, expanding its access.
And the presidential preference primary is tomorrow. Mikey Ruhan has more on this story.
The presidential preference primary election will be held on Tuesday, February 6, 2024 from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. countywide. Polls will be open in the Amargosa Valley, Beatty, Pahrump, Round Mountain, Tonopah, and the Yampa Tribe in Reese River Valley. Ballots can also be dropped off at any Nye County polling location on Election Day and during regular office hours at the Clerk's Office, 101 Radar Road, Tonopah, Clerk's Office, 1520 East Basin Avenue, Pahrump, and Duckwater Community Center, 511 Duckwater Falls Road, Duckwater. The presidential preference primary election is a closed election for Nevada's two major political parties. Only voters registered as Republican or Democrat may vote in this election.
Checking some other stories on this Monday. A man from Mexico was arrested by Nevada Highway Patrol for a possible DUI. News 25 reporter David Preston has this story.
On February 3rd of this year, Nevada Highway Patrol made a traffic stop on Highway 160 near Gamebird Road of a tan sedan swerving left to right, crossing over the solid white line to the right and traveling on the double yellow lines to the left. Upon the officer making contact with the driver, who is later identified as Eduardo Contreras by Mexico Consular ID, the officer observed Eduardo having glossy red bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, and an odor of an unknown alcoholic beverage emitting from within the vehicle. According to the declaration of arrest, the Nevada Highway Patrol officer instructed Eduardo to exit the vehicle and walk to the front of his marked patrol car, which Eduardo complied, but stumbled while doing so. As Eduardo walked to the patrol car, the officer observed he was unsteady on his feet. Once at the patrol car, the officer asked Eduardo how much he had to drink. Eduardo allegedly admitted to having more than 6 beers. The officer asked Eduardo if he would consent to a complete field sobriety test. Eduardo answered yes. As Nevada Highway Patrol conducted these tests, Eduardo could not follow instructions or focus on these tests, so the officer had to stop these tests for Eduardo's safety. Nevada Highway Patrol then placed Eduardo into custody for possible DUI and transported him to the Nye County Detention Center and booked accordingly. Eduardo is being charged with 1 count of driving under the influence, 1 count of driving without a valid driver's license, and 1 count of failing to drive on the right half of the roadway.
And Sphere Entertainment released its quarterly earnings report on Monday. News 25 has the details.
According to new financial figures, the Sphere in Las Vegas generated revenue of $167.8 million in its first 3 full months of operation. Sphere Entertainment, the company that owns the venue, on Monday released its quarterly earnings report covering October, November, and December 2023. For operating income, the Sphere alone had a $193.9 million loss. Sphere Entertainment said that when adjusted for one-time expenses, liabilities, and other transactions, the venue's operating income was $14.1 million. Much of the loss was tied to a non-cash impairment charge of $116.5 million for scrapping plans to develop a Sphere venue in London, factoring in the MSG networks, which broadcast New York Knicks and New York Ranger games. The company reported total revenue of $314.2 million. The total operating loss was $159.7 million, while the total adjusted operating income was $51.4 million. The Sphere opened in late September with concerts from U2. The band's residency continued for the rest of the year, and during off days, Sphere showed the film Postcard from Earth by director Darren Aronofsky. It was also a major centerpiece for the Las Vegas Grand Prix racing circuit in November. According to Monday's earnings report, the Sphere Experience generated $92.9 million in revenue, events made $55.2 million, and sponsorship and advertising were $17.5 million. Operating expenses totaled $67.3 million.
Coming up, Mikey Ruhan with your look at sports.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyers, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Welcome back. We're leading up to the big game here in town, the Super Bowl. And the teams have arrived. Here's Mikey with your look at sports.
Time now for your News 25 look at sports and streaming at www.kpvm.tv. Can you smell that? It smells like Super Bowl fever. We finally made it to Super Bowl week. The Sphere in Las Vegas is teaming up with the NFL to kick off the Super Bowl excitement all week long. Custom Exosphere content will run until Sunday to count down to kickoff, with fun graphics to pump up the highly anticipated match. During the big game, the CBS broadcast of Super Bowl 58 will be broadcast on the 1.2 million LED puck screen. As a token to NFL history, the Sphere will also showcase all 57 Super Bowl rings, giving fans the chance to pose for their favorite team. The Rock is kicking off the sports-packed week in Las Vegas. Dwayne Johnson will hit the ring to face off against WWE Undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns and WWE Chief Content Officer Paul Triple H Levesque. WrestleMania 40 kickoff will go live from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas on Thursday, February 8th at 4 p.m. The non-ticketed event is free and open to the public. Doors open at 2:30 p.m. The Golden Knights returned to practice on Sunday following their bye week in the All-Star break. Joining them was Carlson, who missed nearly all of January with a lower body injury. Calgary Flames have claimed defenseman Braden Patchell after the Vegas Golden Knights placed him on waivers on Saturday. Golden Knights welcome the Edmonton Oilers tomorrow evening. And Pahrump Valley Trojans girls basketball are at home this evening. Varsity plays at 6:30. New Vine Law is sponsoring the admission cost to get in. You go pick up a free basketball game, root on the Trojans. And that's your look at sports on News 25.
Thank you, Mikey. Josh Osborne of Great Computer Deals explains having too high expectations for low-end or older technology.
Hey guys, Josh Osborne here with Pahrump's own Great Computer Deals. It's time for another quick tutorial. Today's topic: the most common issues we see at our computer repair center and how to avoid them, part 5. Let's go ahead and wrap this topic up. You think the biggest technology issue that's facing our customers this day and age would be their lack of computer knowledge, but that's actually not the case at all. You'd be surprised to find that over 50% of the problems that we help people solve are completely avoidable regardless of a customer's computer literacy. Today's last topic: having too high of expectations for low-end or older technology. Many people come into our store just frustrated because their device isn't fast enough or doesn't have all the bells and whistles that they were hoping for. Many times we can tell immediately why this is the case. It's normally caused by low-end technology. We'll call it Walmart-level electronics, or older technology, computers that are 10 plus years old. Remember the saying, can't get blood from a turnip? This is true with computers as well. You can't buy the cheapest thing on the shelf and then be surprised when it doesn't perform as well as the higher end, more expensive models. This is also true for older computers. You can't install the new Windows 11 on a machine built 15 years ago and expect it to run without issues. So, how do we avoid these problems? Well, remember when Dad used to say, you get what you pay for? This still holds true with just about everything. Purchasing name brand is usually the best option, but also being aware of the exact model you're getting as well. Just because there's a Dell, HP, or Samsung logo on your device doesn't make it good quality. Most tech companies produce high-end electronics with really good materials and low-end electronics where corners are cut to allow for a cheaper price tag. Do your research, read online reviews, talk with professionals before investing in any computer, tablet, or smartphone. It'd be much better to save up and wait for a device that will last, as opposed to getting something cheap right away and regretting it very quickly. You guys still need some help? Well, come on down to our store. We're located at 1190 East Highway 372, across the street from Pizza Hut, and in the same plaza as Game Corner, Arcade, and Fun Center. Or give us a call, 775-990-8833. We're open from Monday through Friday, 9 to 3. Anyway, that's it for today's lesson. I will catch you guys on the next one.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner & Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Okay, we are getting some rain, and you're looking at about 6,000 feet elevation, a little wet snow. And today is National Weatherman Day, and in our case, National Weatherwoman Day. Rory has a forecast coming up.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Good evening, Nevada. I'm Rory Rossell, here from the Channel 25 Weather Studios and streaming everywhere at KPVM.TV. If any of you guys are wondering what is going on with the weather right now, we have an atmospheric river storm that is occurring throughout the Pacific U.S. that is causing northern Nevada to experience a storm warning consisting of snow and wind, and southern Nevada is experiencing rain and flash flooding. But looking at the temperatures here in Nevada, Fernley is at 49, Fallon is at 54, Carson City is at 41 degrees, Tonopah is at 40, Goldfield is at 39, Beatty at 47, Amargosa at 50 degrees, Las Vegas at 48 degrees, and Death Valley at 58 degrees. Here in the Paradise of Pahrump, it is currently 49 degrees. The high today, just a little while ago, was 50 degrees. The humidity today was 79%, and the sun rose this morning at 6:41 and set at 5:14 p.m. It is going to drop just a little bit to 45 degrees, and the humidity rises up to 88%. Taking a look at the 7-day forecast, it looks like it's going to rain up until Friday, even though it's just a little chance of rain. We're staying at the high 40s up until Saturday, when it looks like it's going to be sunny, and we're hitting the 50s again. There is going to be something to look forward to at the end of the week, and that is sun. Well, that is going to wrap up this. I hope everybody stays safe and dry. Back to the desk. Here's Chris.
Boy, that bright sun does look good on the weekend. In the meantime, stay safe, stay dry. I'm Chris Palermo. Thanks for watching News 25.